Hello, people.
Been a while, huh?
Yeah, it's been a while, and I've accumulated rage in me, like frustration, um, a
Some
grudge
would say
towards,
salt.
yeah, a grudge to my fellow man. And I remembered that I have a platform for this. It's almost like I've created a podcast so I can just blurt out my 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 animosity, my my rage, right? And there's plenty to cover today as when it comes to that. But I want to begin with welcoming everybody, right? Haven't watched in months. Louis went away. Like, like we're gonna cover this every stream, I swear.
Yeah.
Louis is AFK. He just like he's missing in action. I don't know where he went. He gave me the keys to the shop and left. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. We have a show and we have rants to do, and there's plenty to explore. So, um, I welcome you all to the Soul Grinder, where respect is a suggestion. Oh shit! It didn't hit the wall. Ah, okay.
That's
For
okay.
next time,
Like,
like the impact has like flavor to it. We'll get to. We'll work on it. We'll
at
work on it.
least we brought it back.
Yes, we brought it back. That's the most important back. That's the most important part, right? But here's the thing. There's one thing that's been pissing me off, and we have to. I have to lead with this, right? Which is I've been playing video games, I've been watching TV shows, I've been watching YouTube videos, I've been listening to music, I've been doing a lot of things in this 2 weeks of break that we had, maybe 3 weeks, I'm not sure, right? That we didn't do an episode in. And I've just developed a disdain to everybody. And the reason I developed it is because I've every time I watch something, it's like intentionally like reducing its own quality, right? So more people get to enjoy it, right? And I'm not an elitist who goes like an opera and it's like if you don't understand opera, you don't understand true music. And I'm not that piece of shit either. But the standards are way too low for everything. And whenever I'm having like a discussion with someone, say Darkrai or your brother with The Last of Us 2, for example, and then we have a conversation in the Soul Grinder Discord, right? And he says Heavy Rain is good, right? And I tell him it's trash, and I tell him why, and he's confused, like I'm an elitist or something. I develop a hatred towards my fellow man. Okay, this is stupid. How can like? Have you played Heavy Rain, Yasha?
No,
By
I
any
haven't.
chance? So it goes like this. Okay, um, there's this guy. He's a father of two, right? And in the beginning, due to his own negligence, I guess, because it's not really clear whether like it was negligence or just unfortunate circumstances. He loses one of his kids in the mall, and in the process of looking for him, he ends up on a street where a car crashes into him, and he's dead. Right, and that leads to the family breaking apart and the divorce happening. Right, and now they have custody over that one kid. And then that one kid gets kidnapped by some bitch called the Origami Killer, right?
Oof.
I don't care about spoiler alerts because this is if you want to enjoy this plot, you're trash too, right?
Aha.
Right? It's that level of bad storytelling, right? And the Origami Killer,
Yeah.
okay, wants to teach the father the value of coming to his family by kidnapping his child and then getting him into a Saw level of trials. Like it's like cut your own finger, electrocute yourself, go in a very dangerous situation in order to save your son, and that's one side of the story. And from the other perspective, you have the other, like the gang. You have a journalist who's like who her job is whoring herself out in order to gain intel for her journalistic career and trying to investigate the Origami Killer. And you have a futuristic FBI agent with like a glasses that when he clicks it, he can scan the environment. This was 2006, by the way, or something dumb like that. uh, early 2000s, right? And the guy is like, has this technology, but he's also addicted, and you don't know what he's addicted to, and he has withdrawal symptoms, and you have to deal with that. And the entire experience is just overall trash. The reveal of who the killer is trash. Okay.
Is this an anime? It sounds like a
No, it's a
half decent.
David Cage game. It's like the bottom of the bottom. He pioneered the genre of this, point and click, story driven interactive movie. And I am so sorry that he's the pioneer. Platformers get Mario. Something tasteful, something you can still enjoy to this day. And the more David Cage releases, Fahrenheit, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, trash after trash. And I love this medium. I love the interactive movie video game format, right? So I bought it with hopes that it improves. Nope. Then, of course, Telltale game. Nope. Right? Trash. Just all trash.
Just wait till Kojima makes one.
Oh, God. He did make one. It's just instead of quick time event, you're just walking. Right?
10 out of 10 game.
10 out of 10. Man standing. Everybody watch
Guys,
it.
watch out for the man standing stream coming soon.
Coming to a retail store near you, huh? Now, here's the thing. Heavy Rain is trash, and I can go for a very long time on why it's trash. But when I have a conversation with somebody, they are visibly confused on why it's trash. And that's why I'm offended, and that's why I'm angry. Okay? It's like, okay, it's okay to enjoy something. I love the Dynasty Warrior series. It's trash, but I love it. It's my childhood. I played it all the time. But I recognize that it's trash. You, Yasha, love Yakuza. You know it's trash, and I know it's trash, right?
Yeah.
But
I have a lot of games that I know that they're the grade A trash, constantly ruined by their companies. Like Sega, okay. They make a lot of cringe. They make a lot of things that they think works, but don't really. At least from a Western point of view, where not everything is anime, right? But you have things like one of my childhood favorites, Mirror's Edge. I played the original one, 2006. God damn, that
Mirror's Edge is
for
that
its time,
game
where you
that's
go jumpy on
jumpy,
buildings.
right.
Yeah, that's the one. But Mirror's Edge Catalyst is an incomprehensible waste of opportunity and like a massive disappointment. Lost potential is what it is. But I've enjoyed it for the sake of what it is. But because of it, how terrible their effort was at making it, and justly how terrible the fans received it, I doubt there's hope for a third game ever. It's just what
Right.
EA does, just kills games.
Yeah, well, that's their thing.
Same with the Sims series. Another one of my childhood favorites. Except that one, the older entries of the series were good. Sims 2, Sims 3 were classic masterpieces of gaming. Sims 4, they gave it some blue-haired chick and said, "Go, make him quirky." It's beyond repair. I've recently bought Sims 4 for my sister.
I'm sorry.
Because she really wanted it, and I realized that they were so desperate, they sold the game for $5.
Yeah,
Or
nobody bought it,
$2.
right? Nobody cared. No, here's the thing. And Aquatech, you say that they need to experience to see that it's bad. That's actually the problem, right? They can't see that it's bad. Because again, like we're in recognition that things are bad, and you can enjoy things that are bad as long as they're from your realm of fucking. If it resonates with you, it doesn't matter how good or bad it is. It resonates with you, right? But these days, let's take Pokemon for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
They release a trash of a game in Sword and Shield. Like as a game, it's trash. If it didn't have the Pokemon tag, nobody would have gave a rat's ass about it, right? But it gets produced, and everybody's like, "This is better than hotcakes." This is better than sliced bread.
No, see,
And I'm like,
Pokemon
yeah?
Sword and Shield was not a Pokemon game. It was a marketing scheme. The first game
Right.
on the Switch, everybody's getting the Switch. and they made it so easy. It's like a baby that doesn't know what Pokemon is can get into it. And now they're making a new like League of Legends that is Pokemon,
Oh yeah,
and
the
and
MMO.
it's Chinese. They're just expanding their market. Like they need more. They're not making Pokemon games.
No, actually, I think the reason they hooked up with Tencent to make the Tencent, right? What's Tencent to make the Pokemon
Yeah,
game?
Tencent. They made
Yeah, to
sure you
make
figured that out.
yeah for the MMO. I think the main reason is they got a scare from Temtem, and had Temtem had a better release.
Are you
Uh,
joking? They got a scare from Temtem.
I bet because they're like that's a market that we don't have, right? And people might migrate. So, but if we release an MMO, everybody wants Pokemon MMO. Temtem is like, I guess we don't have
Then
any
why
Pokemon
why
MMO, so
didn't they
this is
make it?
better.
Why didn't they make a Pokemon MMO? This is a what's it called? Arena battle? What was it called? The genre of League of Legends and Dota? I forgot, but it's not what Temtem is, and God forbid Temtem succeeds.
Oh,
Well,
so it's
mother of
not an
disappointment.
MMO. It's
No, no, no. It's League of
oh,
Legends.
oh,
Like
that's fucking sad. And here I was like, maybe I'm slightly interested in trying it out, or at least keeping up with its release, because it's an MMO and that's what everybody wanted. It's a fucking arena, like it's a what do you call it? It's, it's the stupid genre everybody plays for some reason. That one, right? That's trash. Who gives a fuck? What, I'm gonna choose like Lucario with a team of 5, and I'm gonna move them around? How is that gonna work?
at least they expanded into genres that would sort of make sense, like Pokken Tournament. Maybe you can argue
Oh, that
that.
was trash, too. That was so fucking trash. I've played it, and they could have made it so much more fun with the Pokemon feel. It's like Tekken with the fucking Pokemon reskin.
I don't think they were going for fun. I think they were going to compete with the fighter games in a competitive level, and they made the whole Pokken competitive scene.
No,
Well,
no,
this is there.
that's stupid, man. Like Yasha, this is fucking dumb. Because here's the thing: you want to compete with versus games, you have to bring your own niche in. You don't become like
Their
them.
niche is that you control Pokemon. You can play with Charizard. That's their
No,
niche.
what they should have done is they made it a team of 3, okay, that you switch around in, okay, and they make the physics engine feel like Pokemon, not like Tekken. And if the competitive, like Tekken and Street Fighter people are opposed to that, well, good. I'm gonna bring a fresh perspective anyway. That's why I like Arms. You know,
Arms is great.
Arms, dude, Arms took the versus genre and just flipped it on its fucking head.
It's
You know,
new. It's creative. The gameplay isn't that exciting, but it has room for. It has potential.
dude. The only reason I don't play Arms as much, like, because they had it as we bought it for like our friend circle bought it and we tried it out, is because the motion. I want a pro motion controller, like pro motion controllers, because the sensitivity fucks with me. I need something that I can depend on, like like the regular Switch Pro controller. That feels nice. Motion controller is amazing. Now, can we get it on actual Joy-Cons, Pro Joy-Cons, right? With high sensitivity, I'll play the extra buck for it. I'll play fucking Arms when that happens. It's like the ultimate bluff game. Sounds to me, it sounds fucking amazing. The concept alone is amazing. It can be expanded upon. That is an innovation to the versus genre. It's much like
Everything.
Splatoon is an innovation to fucking shooters.
Yeah, yeah, and everything in Arms is very great, very well made. It only falls short on the gameplay perspective. The music, the characters, the concept itself. It just
Oh, I
needs.
love, oh, I love the music of fucking
The
Arms.
music is great.
It felt like it's like what the Olympics should have done to make us excited.
I really think they should bite the bullet by now and make it a $30 game. People will buy it. I promise you. This is like the number one complaint is that people don't feel that this is a $60 game.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like,
This is
had
an
it been
investment.
$30, yeah, I would have probably put more time in it.
Buy the next game will be $60, but build a fan base. It needs
Yep.
fans.
It's funny, like, again, like if they give me the pro fucking joysticks, if Nintendo can finally relent and give me that, I'll be so fucking happy. I assume it's an engineering nightmare for them to do it, right? But they've pulled out like ridiculous shit so far. From making a gimmick like 3D without glasses, based around the idea of a fucking handheld that lasted like 5 or 6 years. The fact that they managed to pull that off is enough for me to trust that they can pull this thing off and market it properly.
I'm curious to see how they can take the Switch further. Like, okay, apart from hardware improvements, what more concepts can you bring? What technology is there?
If there's somebody who's going to do it, it's definitely Nintendo. But before I lose my train of thought, let's go back to Pokemon real quick.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should expand into competitive scene, personally. I think where they should go is more what they did with Mystery Dungeon, because the thing about Pokemon is that it's a platform for storytelling. There's so much story that can be explored, so many concepts that you can dabble with outside of the turn-based combat, right?
Have you seen the Sword and Shield story? God damn.
Shut up.
I don't know. Dude, Nintendo needs to like put their foot down on Game Freak. Change the
No, that's
producer.
I don't want Game Freak to do it. That's why like Mystery Dungeon wasn't made by fucking Game Freak. That's why it was good, right? I at this point I trust Pokemon with Tencent more than I trust them with fucking Game Freak.
Hassan is saying Nintendo Lab was literally $80 for Nintendo cardboard. I hate when people like make this plain argument at level. I've seen videos about it and it makes sense. Let's talk about that for real quick. First of all, you're paying for a game. There is a video game involved, and with the cardboard next to it. And if you want more cardboard, it's cheaper. It's not $80, but it's so. Not only does it make sense for Nintendo's history, since they used to do this stuff before they started doing video games, from like someone who in his childhood used to do nothing but Legos and mechanicals and wooden buildings, the kits you buy from city center and those types of places. This is a great experience. You're paying for experience. You're not paying for cardboard to make a box out of. You're like the things you do. It's so very creative. If you notice the actual stuff.
Actually, I had no problem with Labo. I actually think they should have pushed it further. I think that should have been their move into fucking VR.
I want more level.
Yeah, because like in theory that would have been great, and it sold well apparently because they keep pumping them out. At least last time I checked. I actually wanted to get one. It's just that I can't justify the investment because I'm not gonna play it. I have kids. It's just mainly out of curiosity, and if I want to be curious about VR, I might as well go Oculus.
But the way it abuses the mechanics of the Joy-Cons, like making an RC car of sorts.
Yeah. It's like give it to Nintendo, right? Give it to Nintendo to actually fucking do something that's like exciting like that.
I'm waiting for Sony to make their version of the Switch.
No.
How close can they get without?
No, they won't get any close. They're gonna like for some reason add ultra graphics to it, but it will be slow and it'll be clunky, like everything they fucking do. It's Sony. They're trash.
It seems like the video game market is settling to sort of areas. There's no longer much competition, or it doesn't look like the next generation will be competitive, or the ones after it. Sony put a firm foot on, okay, we are the console for the console gamers, right? We have the hardware, we have the yada yada yada. Xbox is like, okay, we're gonna go towards the PC direction. That's where Microsoft should excel. And Nintendo's just Nintendo. You can't really outdo them in what they do.
Aquatech, I don't think Nintendo should bring Pokemon to the PC. I think it's healthy and desirable for Nintendo to be a separate platform with their own exclusives.
They never will.
Yeah, because as much as I love PC, right? Um, it is uncomfortable to me that the world is dwindling down to um, basically Steam, and that's it, right?
I don't like Steam.
I like Steam personally, but I'd love competition to Steam
E-
because
Exactly.
um, Steam is so fucking consumer friendly, right? They're so nice. I love them, right?
Yeah,
Steam
on that front,
sales,
that's nice.
fun.
But they're not
Yep.
developer friendly.
Yeah, right. But as a consumer, like I can relate to this, right? I can go behind this. They got my back, which is something that's good. It's enough that I can buy a game, try it for like an hour or two, and if it wasn't my thing, I can refund it. That really, when that came, that really feels pleasant, right? You don't have to take a risk.
One problem I have with Steam right now is okay, they don't want to adjust their platform and their prices to include taxes and be a universal platform. They want to do the lazy thing like every other major like store and just make it so okay, you're in this area, you have this store, and you can buy and sell on these prices, right? Like
Right.
Kuwaiti, buying games in Kuwait is cheaper than buying them in Canada. My problem is that you can't gift games across these regions.
That's probably not their fault. They would want to do that, but they're limited to to the country they do business in. If they want to do business in Canada, they have to do it like this, and it's probably very hard to actually transfer. Like if you gift it, everybody will just gift each. There'll be a business around buying games cheaper with a commission from a different country, and how to get there, and the country in question that wants the tax would not like that.
Yeah,
Um, it's
I'm
frustrating.
not sure about business. Yeah, what you said will happen if they allow it. It's more
Yep.
so that I wonder if they can find a way to adjust prices and make it a international store. Just
That's the hope, but here's the thing about Steam, right?
right.
The reason I'm uncomfortable with Steam and I want platforms like Nintendo to exist and like GOG and Epic Games, as much as I hate it and it's trash and they do everything wrong, I want a platform like them. The main reason for that is for the main thing that there will be like right now, Steam is a consumer friendly monopoly, right? As far as I can
Right.
tell,
Yeah.
right? And what happens when they lose the plot? What happens when they go full on EA? I don't like too much power in one place because generally speaking, okay, your leadership now is great and the philosophy is great, but I'd like to prevent like a time where you can like exploit me. So I don't want to give you all the power, which is why I constantly browse the Epic Games Store. Sorry, not Epic Games. Fuck that. Like GOG. Right? I constantly browse the GOG for games I can buy there because I want to support GOG another PC platform because unlike Epic Games, they're doing it right. And then you have Nintendo and the Nintendo Store. Now, Nintendo, I think they're still behind on the online game, and they should step their game up. But nobody, and I mean nobody, innovates in the gaming franchise, as Arasan says in the comments here. Nobody experiments and innovates in the gaming world as much as Nintendo, right? And I love them there, and I will buy games there, and I want to support them there because even though it splits the platforms, it splits them in a way that is useful. The Switch is a handheld in the end, a handheld you can use as a console, and that's relevant. It's different. It's the niche is relevant, right? It's not even a niche; it's a feature. It's
Hmm.
it's powerful. It's important, and it's good competition to Steam. As long as that remains, I can feel comfortable. And the same thing, by the way, goes for Nintendo. I don't want Nintendo to grow too powerful or too big. Um, it's the same thing. That's why I love competition, and that's why I dislike that Xbox is migrating away from the console market, and that Sony is like planting its head on the console thing and just like basically saying if it ain't broke, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right?
I expect future PlayStations to have way less impressive changes, let's say, or
It
improvement.
already fucking does. They added an SSD to the fucking PS5. Really? That's supposed to impress me? A technology that's existed for fucking 5 years or something now. Like that's your big fucking innovation. No, give me something, and not next level graphics or trash like that. Give me something to warrant me getting interested in the PS5. For example, having built-in VR or something like that. You
I
have
think
your.
they
I'd love to
built-in
have
VR
that.
is nice. Yeah, I agree, but it's still will be for a really long time a very niche market. People don't afford VR. Some people just don't want to bother with it. It doesn't sound interesting to them. But I
But
think Sony is just keeps doubling down on their what's it called? Their games. Their exclusives. I have just imagine this scenario where The Last of Us 2 was a PS5 exclusive.
casual gaming itself is Nintendo's invention. That's actually a great, relevant point from Arasan. That's it needs to. I like at some point I'm like, here's a topic I constantly think about, and it causes me a lot of pain and rage, right? Because I can't find a solution, which is how to make phone games actually acceptable, right? How to make phone games actually legitimate as a form of enjoyment. And because like I'd love to play on my phone. I'd love to go and go sit on my bed and open my eyes. And I'm like, you know what? For the first thing I want to do, I don't want to move from my bed. I would just want to swipe on my phone and have fun, right? And it started off well. Phone games started off well, like Fruit Ninjas, like quirky shit like that. Love that shit. And then it just went from that to Rise of Kingdoms. Have you guys heard about that Rise of Kingdoms? Let me tell you about Rise of Kingdoms. That's all my fucking ads on my
Even from
fucking
Rise of
YouTube.
Kingdoms, the mobile market is just how can we milk this cash cow? From microtransactions to ads, there's nothing to it. There's no gain in it.
They went full on gambling mode. It's honestly embarrassing, right? That most people, like most boomers in the world, right, their exposure to video games is via phone. It's embarrassing because if they think that's where the limit is, I'm sorry for them. It causes me sadness just to think that it's like when I talk to somebody like my older sister, who's technically a kind of a boomer, right? And she tells me that she plays a phone game, and the phone game is like a Candy Crush or something, and I'm like, I'm so sorry for you. There's so much that's better than fucking Candy Crush, of the same fucking genre. There's
The-
so much you can look at, but it's all on fucking PC or it's all on fucking console. Something that's actually legitimately interesting. But it's lost because most of the shit is on the fucking phone and it's free to play, and if it's pay to win. And when a game like sells itself as not pay to win, they give you the ugliest fucking skins in existence, and only if you pay do you get like to have a character that looks decent and acceptable in the game. Trash, utter trash. I despise it. And it puts us back so fucking back as a fucking platform, and that's why I brought this topic forward, which is um, you dilute content for the sake of inclusion, right? Create trash because everybody who doesn't have taste can look at this and determine that it's kind of nice and kind of cool, and they stick to that. And that's where the gaming world is at. They don't want to take it to the next step. They don't want to taste it as art. Not the video game critics, not the people who play the video game, people who play the video games. They don't have taste palettes for games. They just have trash, and that upsets me
it's only
because
going
we can
down
do
there.
better. Yeah, we can do better than this, right? And there's. It's not like we're dumb. It's not like we're like fucking illiterate. It's just we're unwilling to actually taste. I know. It's not about rationality here. It's about just you know developing a fucking palate for it. Not fucking. What do you call it? Like, just I go back to the heavy rain arguments. Just
People keep
How can,
getting breastfed mediocrity.
dude? I was fucking what, 11 when I played Heavy Rain, and I thought it was fucking trash. Fahrenheit before it, thought it was trash, right? When The Last of Us 2 came out, right? I'm like, how can somebody legitimately enjoy the gameplay? It's the most boring shit in existence, right? And
All of my friends are praising the gameplay as a great
of
advancement.
course, advancement and maybe fucking doing chores. You like doing chores in your game? You like just clicking the same button 15 times and seeing plot progress? Ooh, oh, boy, do I have the game for you. Dude,
My
I play.
problem with its gameplay is I haven't played. I've watched it though. It's more so that the gameplay doesn't make sense with the story, and for something that is such a story-driven franchise, I don't know why they didn't just fully invest in story. Well, you have characters that hesitate to kill because it's not right, and it's not good, and then the
Dude,
gameplay is just manslaughter, never-ending manslaughter.
it's worse. Like let's go Tomb Raider, right? When Tomb Raider got rebooted, I was really excited because I love Tomb Raider,
Surprise.
and so yeah, so I bought it. Like, I can't wait to play, right? And what did I get? I got such a mediocre fucking plot. Um, everything you can, everything like a 3-year-old can generate, you know, has been put, and gameplay is generic. You kill like 50,000 people, and Lara Croft is just what was it? What did she do? Like first she's innocent, just wanting to explore, and then disaster strikes, and then she has to cope with the fact that she has to survive. And by the end, she becomes strong, and then she pulls out the two pistols. Just as a callback to the old games, and they're like, da, 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 da. And I'm like, there's so much you could have done. There's so much you could have done. And also, and you make a good point here, which is society as a whole doesn't treat video games as an art like movies or books, and so they don't expect high standards. But here's my problem: even books and movies are like suffer from this shit as well. It's not like like the
Every form of art
Avengers.
is.
Yeah, it's not like the Avengers was like a step towards creating a higher form of movie. It was just fucking McDonald's. It was
But now,
McDonald's in movie form. They didn't want to push it further. It's just they went the safest route possible. That's why I like Avengers: Age of Ultron over the regular Avengers and every other Avengers after it. Have you watched Age of Ultron?
no, I haven't. I really do not enjoy superhero movies. I
Dude,
do not find quality.
Ultron, the character, okay, himself was biblical. Okay, that was his archetype. Joss Whedon really did a great job portraying him. He had, you can tell the conflict in his psyche, right? There was psychology there. There was something that I actually legitimately enjoyed, right? And like I remember, like human beings have to evolve, and then what Scarlet Witch was like, or what? And then he goes like, ask Noah. He was very biblical about like the way he wanted to advance mankind, and it was something legitimately thought provoking. Nobody liked the Avengers 2. Why? Because it was more of the no, it wasn't. It wasn't more of the fucking same. It was relevant. It was an advancement. And guess what? They never went back to that fucking format. They now went full on just Thanos. So half the world has to die because there isn't enough economy to sustain it. A stupid mathematical model. And what did you say? It's calculus or something dumb like that. Like just so the dumb, popcorn eating audience be like, yeah, I can relate to that. It's trash. It is trash. They could take it further in subtle ways. They keep the entertainment. They keep the McDonald's, right? But the subtle themes is what provides the taste. And like you cook, Yasha, right? It's always the subtle taste that catches you.
Hmm.
When you hit that hint of cumin or you hit that hint of mint in your fucking food, and you're like, oh, that hint is everything to me.
It's called not
You know,
being bland.
right? It's all about subtlety. You can keep the action model, superhero model, and you can take it so much further. And you can do it for video games. You can do it for fucking everything, right? It's just, it's not even hard. It just takes like a little bit of effort. That's why, like, I remember, like, Bill Burr, the comedian Bill Burr, when he did F is for Family on Netflix, one of my favorite, like, fucking shows on fucking Netflix right now. Um, like, they asked him in an interview, like, it's like, how is it being in the writers' room? The difference between, like, in a comedian, you just kind of make the joke and you can tell it. But in the writers' room, you have to deal, like, with a team of 10 people, right? So they can generate the story. And he's like, it's underappreciated how much work people put into the writing process for shows like F is for Family or Breaking Bad or stuff like that, because it's literal hell. You sit there and you fucking rip your hair apart with 10 other people to make like a script that's worthy of consumption, and the end product, when it's done properly, is fucking amazing, right? It's so easy to fuck up, so you have to try very, very hard for it not to fuck up, right? And you look at a show like Breaking Bad, and I heard an interview from one of the guys there. He's like, I would never do it again. Like, if you tell me go back and make Breaking Bad, I would tell you no, because that's how much pain it caused me. That's how much suffering I had to go through with my team in order to write something that's legitimate. Not including the fact that there's acting and costs and all that shit involved. Just writing the fucking script, the scenes, was enough of work, because they cared enough to produce something that's valuable, right?
Mhm.
Something that you can get behind. Um, that's lost. That's slowly being drained. Quality is being removed, and I blame it on the snobs as much as I blame it on the fucking um, on on the, like, the average
True.
illiterate consumer. And what I mean by snobs is, well, let's take a look at books, for example. You have fucking all these Shakespeare fans, and I'm like, why isn't there a new age Shakespeare? Why isn't there a 2020 version of Shakespeare that you guys fangirl about? You
They don't
don't
let
care
them.
about you don't care about the new guys. Even if they produce something good and relevant and culturally changing, you don't care about him, because he wasn't like 2,000 years ago good, and you're stuck in that fucking age. You suck Shakespeare's dead fucking cock, right? Instead of looking for new quality and looking how to build something out of the new platform. Modern poetry is trash because of it, because the snobs are refusing to actually put their snobby take to improve the current platform. And so it's left for fucking idiots to just walk around and write trash, and for other idiots to consume it. It's like, oh, they touched my fucking heart. Look, my heart beat a dup, dup when I read it, therefore it's fucking good. Trash, utter trash is being created because snobs aren't willing to go down, and like the plebs are willing to go up.
Put aside the books, right? Look at
Right,
music. This is where it's worse. Mm, I was born in the wrong generations. I only listened to 80s music, right? Crap like that.
right.
And the new market is just how far can we get inch towards pornography with music in the background. Neither these will grow their palettes, nor these will look for new music to support.
Um, oh, let's not even get to music, man. I'm so sad for fucking musicians these days, because there's so much hidden talent, right? Just
There's
just just hiding, and on Spotify and these things, so many, like, indie artists, if you will, right? And they can't get a fucking break.
even that is diluted, the indie artist, because there's a culture around music that I don't think existed before. There was an era where everybody wanted to be a rock star, but now everyone can try to be a rapper, and SoundCloud is just filled with that nonsense. People
Right.
taking any instrumental from a popular song and sticking their own, like, yeah, I do the weed, I got the guns type of bullshit, and then spamming it everywhere.
Oh, dude, that's ugh, like, let me think about it. But yeah, like, you see the modern rap scene.
So
So there was a certain point where, like, I wanted, like, just to flirt with the idea of rap. I write poetry all the time, right?
yeah,
As
it
a
makes sense.
pastime. So I'm like, let's try a rap. It's a different form of doing it. Certainly, it doesn't look particularly difficult. Let's look around. Let's look for examples of rap songs, so I can develop a style. And I started, like, listening to a lot of rap music for, like, across a year, right? Just familiarizing myself with the medium, and it's like they all sound the fucking same, right? And I'm not even talking about mumble rap either. Like I didn't get into that. I couldn't get into it because there was no value. But you look at like just regular rap, like, and it all sounds the same. It's like all cuts from the same cloth. It's like nobody innovated in like 20 years of rap. Tupac died and that's it. Like the genre froze. And
Again,
then yeah,
the modern scene rap, I do not believe is an expression of art, or I don't think it's art. It's culture. It became just a cultural phenomena, right? To where you have people of certain ethnicities or background. The only way it's that scene is for them, and we have to like it. We have to spam it. Uh, we have to seek it. You know.
right. Actually, curious what your take is on this, Yasha, which is a theory by Arasan. Just like with books, the standards of gaming lowered the moment gaming was sold as a lifestyle. Um,
Fair enough. Like,
hmm.
yeah. Uh, you can't. I think anything once it's dubbed a lifestyle goes down that road, because then I don't know if this would be a fair point, but once something is a lifestyle, someone out there will try to cash out on it. Because once it's a lifestyle, it's someone's identity. I'm a gamer. I do gamer things. Uh,
Yeah, that's actually I can relate to this mainly because I dabbled in a lot of communities, right?
right.
Over the years, I wanted like it's just how I function. Like I see comics, I'm like, can I make that? I see like people drawing, I'm like, can I draw? I see people playing music, can I play music, etc., etc. And I like dabbled and in a lot of communities around me, and I thought it was a Kuwaiti thing, right? Because Kuwait is just fucking trash with art. Um, but as I grew and talked with a lot of people online and outside of Kuwait and compared notes, they have the same fucking thing, right? Um, and the idea of it to just being a lifestyle is something that's relevant because, um, like, because it's part of your identity now.
Exactly. That's it.
The the creation of it or lack thereof is something that measures your value as an individual,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And if you if you cannot get the gratification that you are decent at your platform, regardless of whether you're good or not, um, or what you produce is good or not, will remove from your identity, and peer pressure becomes a thing, right? Because like the best example I can think of is self-publishing authors.
Yeah.
Because their books were never accepted. They started to self-publish, and they chose to self-publish because, in my opinion, they refused to improve upon the editor notes they got, or why their book was being refused. They refused to actually innovate and bring something new to the table and improve and increase their platform. They were content with sitting with like four other self-publishers and jerking themselves off on why their books are good, but they are not popular. And so if they have a fan base of like 20 people that they can tell them they're good, and those 20 people want to self-publish too, and that, and it becomes like, a pseudo like a pyramid scheme of people just investing in currency called legitimacy in the art form. Um, it becomes just a like a plethora of a circle jerk, right? Which is why I refuse to dabble in a lot of communities, and it never felt right. Like I, I don't want to go with you guys because I feel like I want to make something that's relevant. You don't. I still remember, like I wanted to make a comic, right? I consider myself a great storyteller, right? I've worked on it all my life. Um, whether that I'm a good storyteller remains to be seen. I haven't released any product, right? But um, I wanted to test it out, and I like comics, so I'm like, okay, let's try comics. I met a couple of people who were into comics and wanted to make their own comics, right? And I'm like, I'm a fucking storyteller. I can help you out with that process. I can give you the things that you lack as an artist, and you can give me the things I lack as a storyteller. and we can both benefit. It looks like a mutually beneficial relationship. And there was one guy who was very perceptive. You know, he made his own comic, he has his own design, and we met basically just to discuss how we're going to do it, right?
Right.
So there was a point where I was talking, and then he stopped, and I'm like, I basically explained to him that things are trash right now when it comes to comics, and we need to up our game. If we're gonna do stuff, like, it needs to be legitimately artistic. The character arcs have to be strong and relevant and three-dimensional and all that stuff. He ignored all that stuff, and he's like, "Wait, so you think you're better than everybody else in the thing?" I'm like, if you don't think that, I think you're an idiot. If you don't come with the idea that you are good and you need to innovate and bring your perspective, and it's only a matter of realizing your potential, I think you're not ambitious enough,
You'll
right?
never sell yourself.
Yep. Because, like, I'm not team humble, right? I'm team show off, team display your power and display your fucking authority in your creative medium, whatever it is. And if it's wrong, more power to me, you know, for trying. Regardless, he looked at me with utter shock, and he couldn't believe it. And he's like, he tried to bring me down, like, you got to be humble. And I'm like, that doesn't matter. The art will speak for itself in the end. It doesn't matter whether I'm arrogant or humble. My matter is to make something as the best it can be, and you can't rob me of that ambition, right? And
Yeah, at least do that first and then be humble after.
I know, brag. I'm team brag.
You like to brag, but
You
I
have to
like
brag. I think it's like a duty of the artist to brag about their work. I think it's important for the child that you've created, that you're proud of it, right? But that's why. But I find being humble is like a publicity stunt, where like people are like, uh, I reached 5 million subscribers on YouTube. It's all thanks to you guys.
No, this is nonsense. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah,
I'm talking more about, there's the mindset of letting your own success and achievement do the talking. And I think that's fair so long as you do have that success and achievement.
yes, I can be for that. And the idea of being humble, i.e., you learn and you don't get stuck in the smell of your own fart. I understand that, but being humble as a way to like hide the fact that you're trash, that's what most people do, and I despise that. And that guy, like, fucking, imagine he left me in the middle of the fucking meeting. He's like, I had something, I gotta leave, because he's like, you couldn't believe that shit. And when he left, I laughed my fucking ass off, because he couldn't take how arrogant I was when I was just being ambitious, right?
Honestly, probably wanted to influence your storytelling and wanted a part of that, but you're too confident with what you can do. He can't control you with it.
Not only that, I think like a lot of artists have a problem, which is what's in my brain is so good that if I communicate it with someone else, it will be like diluted and become worse. What's in my head is so pure and beautiful that it cannot be it can't be improved upon. You know, it's just a matter of me perfecting it in my own head and expressing it, which is incorrect. That's not how art works, right? And that's why, like, I spent a very, very long time studying how to objectively quantify the idea of artistic tasting, because because I don't think it's fully subjective. I don't think there's such a thing as like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Nuh-uh. I'm against that. We can determine what's beautiful and what's not, and we can agree upon it. It is something universal that we can explore. Now, what you like and what you don't is very different from what is beautiful and what isn't.
Yeah.
Again, we can agree that a game is trash, but I like it. But the agreement that it's trash is relevant. That's a universal agreement. And if we can't find a way to actually fucking do it, then it's fucking trillion equals Nobunaga. Oh, that caught me off guard. but yeah, the idea is if we cannot like unify this in a way that is relevant, we'll just be left with what we have right now, utter trash. And people like the critics, give The Last of Us 2 like 10 out of 10, and the bitch boys don't agree, and nobody knows why it's trash or why it's good. It's just people being emotionally triggered here and people being emotionally triggered there, and thinking, subjective opinion is just okay, that's my take and fuck you. That's something about you, Darkrai, that I kind of dislike, which is like, this is my pure opinion, this is my subjective opinion, and I hold on to it as a way to hide from the idea that you have a take that you want to push in your videos, right?
I
It's
have a
it's
bit of a theory.
strong. Own it.
I have a bit of a theory.
Yeah.
I blame this entire problem on one simple, like, little wisdom people like to pass around when they're giving advice and emotional support to people. This sentence: just be yourself. I think this has taken every form of expression down the shithole, down the rabbit hole, because it's simple. When people start to, associate their form of art or their work way too much with themselves, they tend to forget the importance of a number of factors. Let's say art has an element of talent in it, you know?
Right.
What makes art good is when it's inspired and it's something that no one can pull off. It is visibly impressive. I cannot recreate that painting. How hard I tried. I cannot write this poem, but people made it so whatever thing they do is so connected with their identity, their sense of worth, their sense of being special, being themselves. You get trash like poetry that's just reading words, but these words are feelings. These are my emotions. But I'm reading nonsense. You get the modern age poetry is all this. Oh,
Yep.
we don't do rhymes. What's wrong with rhymes? You have to give it a linguistic flair.
No, the rhymes are fun and they're anti-fun. It's that simple.
Maybe so. And it's manifested in other ways as well. You look at, let's say, artists, they do paint drawings and whatnot. I think that I see quite a lot when scrolling around social media, for example, is a little portrait, or let's say a little girl or something, with the caption under it, draw this in your style. And then I see just like a wave of people trying to show how unique they are by doing the same thing in their own style. When it's good and developed, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with having your own style. The problem is where if we've talked about this on the subground before, where if you criticize their style, that's a direct insult to themselves. They never want to grow because they're being themselves in what they do.
Yeah, they cannot separate the art that they create from their own identity as an artist. And so they can never evolve the art they make, because that means that them as a person and their identity as an artist will be tarnished.
As I was saying, honor yourself by being the best version of it, the best version of yourself.
Yep, that's a way better version to just be yourself. Because when people are just being themselves, they end up taking a very amateur take at what being themselves is, and finding that to be the best version.
Put aside art. This little piece of shit wisdom that people try to be helpful with. This is, I think, is also one of the roots of identity politics. Apart with the other stuff like lack of cultural identities and all that. People, okay, I heard just be myself. Well, what is myself? People forget that you need to find yourself first and figure what that is. And that is not something that you do at the age of like 19 or whatever. That's something that constantly keeps improving. That's how you grow as a person. But people say, okay, I'm going to figure myself out now. I am this. I'm an artist. I am a feminist. I am a right-wing nationalist. I am yada, yada, yada. and they stagnate themselves for eternity. They're stuck on this identity, this concept. Why? Because I'm being myself. And if you try to tell me that myself isn't good enough or myself needs a revision, then you're hating me. You're telling me to be someone who I'm not. That's not really it. We're telling you to be you, but better. And people will not take that.
It's utter trash, right? As far as I'm concerned, the idea that let me put it this way, nobody said it better than Churchill. In the end, art is without tradition, art is a flock of sheep without a shepherd, right? And without innovation, it is a corpse. So he called out both sides of the spectrum when it comes to this. The Shakespeareans are the corpse, right? No innovation, nothing new. It's just let's fangirl about how one guy did things right 50 years ago, and then you go without tradition, art is a flock of sheep without a shepherd. It's a directionless movement that leads to nowhere and gives you no value. And this is what the current state of not even art, just everything in general right now is going. Look at memes. Let's not go far. I'm not the most meme educated person, but I can tell the quality of memes is dwindling. Right?
Yeah.
I can tell the fact that a meme dies in like 2 seconds. That's enough to tell me that people don't have the attention span to innovate on and flourish the meme that was just created. They'd rather move on to the next one. They'd rather just go. And
It gets diluted way too quickly.
way too quickly. Like the fact that we cannot because here's the thing. I remember there were back when I was really into memes. Usually it's like one meme and it gets used and twisted all around its head in so many different intricate ways that it becomes basically its own art form. That one meme becomes its own fucking art form and how you apply it. Right? It's very accessible. Everybody can make it, but it's very powerful depending on how you twist around with it. And this is why, dude. There's this video on YouTube I fucking love. Those Nigerian funeral guys who dance or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're Nigerian, but with the fucking song, it's just fucking lovely, right? Now, here's the thing. People used it. The memes are fun, but the person I believe, the one who actually really innovated it, was a very particular YouTube channel. I forget its name. But basically, the video goes, African funeral meme, and you add EU4 to it, European Universalis 4, a game which I enjoy very much. Now, the video itself has a lot of the game in it and memes about the game, but the first 3 to 4 minutes is basically taking scenes from movies, okay, about things that happened in history, and at the end of it, putting that meme in the end. So fall of Byzantium, and then you see the graves dancing, and all of it is Ottoman fucking hats, right? And then the winged hussar. The next scene, the winged hussars beat the Ottomans back, and then the Polish are the ones who are doing it. And then they show a map of the partitioning of Poland, the process of the partitioning of Poland. And then they show Austria, Prussia, and Russia just, again, doing the same thing. 3 in a row. It's like you saw the historical event go through you with the meme itself. It was so fucking entertaining, right? I enjoyed it so fucking much. And I saw that and I'm like, I don't want this meme to die. I want to see it constantly come back in constant new and innovative ways that flourish this one meme by itself. And that's fucking artistic, right? But it's every time it's a new thing. I can't keep up. I blink and suddenly there are 3 new memes and I'm a boomer if I don't catch up. No, I think you're the boomer.
How do you want the pallbearers meme to not die when Saudi Arabia brought them over to do a concert or something?
They did what?
They went to Saudi Arabia. Have you not seen it?
No, I have. Okay, I need context. Help me out here. I need context. Like, I'm having trouble
Okay.
visually.
They imagine this. This I'll draw you a little portrait. They are coming out of a black car, wearing masks because COVID.
Right, naturally.
A Khaliji remix of the song is playing.
Eh.
That is the video.
Okay, you're gonna have to send it to me later on. I need that pain in my and the plethora of rage that I put behind my fucking it. You know. Now, just okay. Hold on. I want to backtrack a bit because I think I think we went a bit like we went on this huge thought train. I want to go back to a point I originally wanted to make, and it was about it was before Pokemon when we discussed like how Pokemon is just like not exploring its full potential. Yeah, yeah. We were talking about ARMS, right?
Yeah.
And how it's innovated the versus genre, and I wish more people did it like that, right? Um, I see a lot of um, I see this job sadly being thrown for like indie studios, and I love indie studios, but remember when I said art is without tradition, art is a flock of sheep without a shepherd? That's what the indie studios are, right? They're just they're too experimental, and they don't have enough experience to actually create a decent gameplay experience, or at least polish it to the point where it's justifiable. And the ones that do explode into like at least not AAA, maybe just something somewhere close to that. And usually the ones that do it are like very solo, very concentrated endeavors. Think something like Binding of Isaac or something like that, what basically kickstarts a fucking genre just out of thin air. But the fact that indie studios are given the duty of innovating is like saying I'm gonna relegate scientific innovation and discovery to the 6-year-old or sorry the 6 year yeah the high school laboratories,
Mm.
It's like that. Those are the ones that are going to discover the new thing about black holes. Maybe they would. We've seen kids do crazy things, but what about the fucking high level labs? They're the ones that's supposed to fucking innovate. The triple A industry is
No,
supposed to fucking
no.
innovate.
We need those to make the same technologies that we already have, so we can sell those for money.
No, that's the job of the engineer, not of the scientist, right? Because and here that's actually another interesting take because science did it correctly when they did the natural split. Science is about discovering the rules of how things work. Engineers take that rules and fucking make shit out of it. Inventors and all that crap. Shouldn't that split be relevant for art as well? Because I know there are people and that aren't particularly good at discovering or creating good art, but they are amazing at finding new ways to allow you to make art, techniques and shit like that. Like I think the difference between like a musician who makes like albums and stuff like that, and an instrument virtuoso, or what the fuck they call it, right? The guy who's so good at the instrument, he knows everything about it and how to navigate it. And that guy is the guy who teaches the musicians, right? The musician in this case would be the engineer. The scientist would be the guy who discovers. And for some reason, the guy who just as a master of the instrument is his value is reduced compared to the guy who creates it. But that's not how it goes in science. In science, both are valued equally because both are relevant and important. And I think that's something that's actually missing. We don't do we have like people who study and like video games as like a fucking format? We don't. We have people who just fucking make video games and that's it. And it's just a bunch of people just sharing tricks with each other. Same thing with the drawing. The last person who did any scientific way of drawing was fucking Leonardo da Vinci way back when he did the proportions and shit, right? And people just, some people tweaked on that, but then it stopped at some point and that's it. No more discoveries. We're done. No, there's still plenty to do. Just we need to work on it. We still need the Da Vinci of our era to innovate on the fucking genre, and I think that's something that's missing as well, especially in writing, music, and drawing. These three in particular, that we have no scientists for these disciplines, and I call them disciplines for a reason, because there are artists and there's the art discipline, the drawing discipline, and the discipline means it's the acquisition of skill, not the creation of it. And that's something I focused on. Like whenever somebody's like, "Would you be a good artist?" I think I'd be a great artist if I can learn the discipline. Until then, everything will be in my fucking head and it'll be fucking pointless. Most people want to be artists without understanding the art discipline, and that's what that's where this like I'm a self-taught artist, comes from. Yeah, of course, what you produce will be trash, and you'll name it after your own style. That's because, well, you didn't study the discipline. You refuse to see what the collective knowledge of humanity decided to give you for free. Free of charge. You don't need to spend any time. You can just learn the tricks. No, fuck that shit. I'm gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna reinvent the fucking wheel. It's something that fucking really, really annoys me about people.
People just want to get to. They don't like to put effort in what they want. They want to assert themselves into something like a context, an art form, a career, or whatever it is, but they don't want to put the effort to do it. They want to just get there.
I've seen the meme you sent, Arasan, on the Salt Grinder General, and I do appreciate it. That gave me a chuckle.
Link for Discord in the description.
It is already in the description. I finally did it, man. I finally put it.
You figured that out. Great job.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. Instead of just putting hashtag podcast and hashtag livestream like a fucking jackass, just fucking send the link like a fucking gentleman, so people who show up and know we have a Discord can be like, they have a link. We can click it. Who would have thought, But yeah, that's when it comes to fucking. I think I've blew an hour on this. I think I've drained all my fucking rage on it. So we can move on. What else do we have? What is on your mind, Matt? Tell me.
I don't know. Things. Life is still pretty boring, with the whole COVID thing going on. We're starting to open up slowly. There's no hope for me. It doesn't seem like there's any hope for me to get back into physical school. I think they're going to do this online shit another time.
Yeah, I think they did a full year on our place as well.
I don't know. Your place seems to be having a bit of trouble. I read you are the number one highest budget deficiency in the world at 40% of your GDP.
Yes, because what everybody knows, welfare is more important than economic sustainability. Just ask Venezuela.
Well, does Kuwait really have that much money just laying around? That's a lot. You're pouring metric boatloads of money into welfare.
Darkrai, I would put a title on my fucking thing if I have a title. Like the last 3 streams, I did that. This time, I didn't really have a title. I didn't think I was gonna rant about art for like the modern state of art for like an hour. So but I would have put it. I would have put it. As for you, Arasan, promote Sea of Thieves? Sure, fucking sure. Do you like Pirates of the Caribbean? Do you think all the games made about Pirates of the Caribbean were fucking trash? Well, boy, do I have a game for you. Sea of Thieves is a game where they spent, I don't know, 3 years figuring out wave mechanics, and they're the best shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. Right? Just the fucking waves. As you're sailing through the fucking thing, that's enough of an experience for me to justify buying it. How much is it priced for, man?
I don't know. I didn't buy it. You did.
Oh, right. I gifted it because I loved it so much. I started just throwing it at people. Let's say what's 6 times 3? Like $20, about $20,
$20 seems alright.
right? $20. Okay, you get it, and it's fucking beautiful, right? You just walk around, you adventure in the ocean, you can PvP, you can PvE, and there's just so much to do. It's a
A bit
fucking
repetitive.
um only if you do like if you go the safe route, because again, like me and you, like we didn't do the forts, we didn't do like we didn't raid people, which is like something that we're gonna need to get to at some point once I'm more comfortable with like my PvP, right? You can fucking raise the Reaper flag and dare people to come your way, but the concept itself of Sea of Thieves, their game, right? The way they just handled, again, subtlety, right? The way the waves go, the way when you put the sails with the air, you see that, and then there's this light hint of music that comes out. That's fucking orgasmic in my fucking brain. The music choices, even the graphic style. They didn't go ultra realistic because that's fucking stupid. They made it cartoony. They made it light. They made it feel nice. The only thing that I think, as a personal choice, as a personal taste, that I would like is I would like a super OP ship, like a treasure fleet with actual humans, and that treasure fleet is super strong and it's walking around, and if you destroy it, you get ultra super goodies, but destroying it on your own is nigh impossible type of thing. It's super hard to do. And it's not a matter of just finding it, it's also a matter of chasing it, because it tries to avoid you. Because its job is to transfer literal treasure to from one country to another, and it's passing by the Sea of Thieves. I see that, and I remember Black Sails, the TV show. When they haunted the Orca Dilemma, the Spanish treasure galleon. To me, I find that idea so fucking exciting, chasing it and then doing that, and I fucking love it, and I like, and Sea of Thieves, it's a game to watch out for. I remember seeing it like in like E3s like 50 fucking games ago, um, and every time I watch it, I'm like, please be good. Please be good. Please be good. And then I saw it on Steam the other day, and that's what kickstarted everything. I'm like, oh, they have Sea of Thieves on Steam now. Wow, is it good? And then like Senate was like, yeah, like it was kind of repetitive last time I saw it, but maybe it changed. He bought it, and he's like, oh yeah, they added a ton of stuff. Then we jumped into it, and then it was lovely, and we didn't even have Flameheart and stuff like that back then, right? That just happened, and so much more flavor. And we didn't even do the story mode. You can story mode with the threat of PvP. To me, that's fucking exciting. The fact that you keep a fucking eye out. Dude, that game is fucking. Whoever did like the team who worked on the game, fucking kudos, man. You know what they're fucking doing. You deserve every fucking buck you make off this game.
We should have multiple fleet, like multiple ship fleets with players. Like, let's say, how we try to sync getting on the server at the same time so we can play together.
Oh yeah,
I want that to be a feature.
Dude. The only reason, like, I'd love to play like 3 ships with my friends. That's why I told you about like the treasure fleet, the Orca Dilemma type of thing, because I want it to be something that if you want to attempt, that you kind of like have to make an alliance, right, with a ship, and the alliance mechanic exists in the game. You can raise an alliance flag, and the ship that also raises an alliance flag, you guys enter an alliance, and you guys kind of move with each other around, and help each other out. So it is actually intrinsic within the game itself, and if I can like get my friend's ship there as well, like I can imagine it, like four galleons, 12 of my friends, all of us just walking around together. Yeah, sorry, it's 4 times 4, 16 of our friends. My friends just kind of marching around like a grand fucking alliance trying to destroy the Urka Dilemma. That I see that, I'm like, I want to do that.
Conflict happens and we don't agree, so we start fighting each other.
Yeah, after after and you make it so we have to split the treasure, right? So it's like maybe we have an alliance, then maybe we have to fucking kill each other for the to make the loot even better. Oh, that sounds so fucking good. I see the picture you sent on Discord, our sound of the fucking general. Yes, yes, I see this. Even though they're fucking sloops, I still see that. That's fucking terrifying. Four fucking sloops are more terrifying than four fucking galleons. These small ships, they can fucking enter your ship, and just da, 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 da. Yes, I have 16 friends like Darkrai, you fucking piece of shit. I can talk to you, and you can sell it to like to your half of your family, and that's 32 fucking players. All right. So don't come to me with that shit.
After he said that, I think you should make it 15 friends.
15 friends. Check my comment about the update. Okay, tomorrow new Sea of Thieves is dropping with new content, an Ashen Fleet encounter. Don't we already have an Ashen Fleet? I'm not fucking sure. And by the way, guys, like next week, I've already decided it's gonna be a gaming stream, and I am gonna play fucking Sea of Thieves because it's a game I fucking love. It's gonna be a 4-player ship, so we have full banter mode on, and we're gonna banter and fucking play, and I'm very excited about this because Ashen, not Ghost. What's the difference? I don't know what it's just. Here's the thing about Sea of Thieves, right? You see Minecraft? The thing that made me like Minecraft is that it has PvP that is implicit with PvE that is explicit, right? And Sea of Thieves, it has both as being explicit, right? And I think that's the future of sandbox games, personally, right? Or free roaming games, is that it's not strictly PvE and it's not strictly PvP. It has to have the option of both, and both have to be rewarding enough to justify alternating playstyles, to prevent it from being stale. So if you can like wreck shop for like fucking like for like 4 hours, destroy a ton of ships, just troll the hell out of people, right? And once you're bored of that, you're like, I just want to fucking adventure today. Let's take a small ship and let's just walk around the fucking sea and enjoy my fucking time, relax and chat. You can do that in Sea of Thieves, and that's fucking brilliant, right? I think that's like that's then the next wave of fucking sandbox. I think that's how Fallout 76 should have done it.
Let's not mention that game, please.
Look here, let's see. Ashen is a thing in the game where it's a curse of fire or something. The most important thing, flamethrowers. Oh, they're gonna put fucking Byzantine fucking flames. They're gonna do the Greek fire. They're gonna put it on a ship. Yes, yes. Have you heard of Hyperscape, the new game by Ubisoft? I have not. But it's made by Ubisoft, so that's enough for me to turn it down. Ubisoft has lost all credibility as a video game developer, as far as I'm concerned, and they lost it way long ago. And I don't think they're gonna really try fucking hard to actually fucking use it well. Oh, it's a skull that's a flamethrower. Oh. Well, I still think the Greek fire idea is good on a ship, and I want it. Put it in the front of the ship, but you have to fucking work for it. Like you have to grind you go like on a super fort or something, and then you grab it and you put it on the front of your ship. And if you do, you get Greek fire. Oh, that sounds fucking awesome. Ubisoft, big haram, devs instead of deving, they rape their employees. What, was there a scandal of sexual harassment again for the 50th time? Which I bet is he looked at me funny and then sneezed, and the residue from the sneeze touched me, and I felt bad, and so I felt violated. Isn't that how like video games go? Like from game development studios?
Honestly.
No, it's definitely something that's a scandal, like thousands of them. Okay, you guys have to give me information here. You can't just kind of like be like, "Bleh," and I'm supposed to know and talk about it. Give me details. Um, give me drama. Let me taste. Um, what do you think of Ubisoft as a company? Yeah, sure.
I haven't paid much attention for them. The last Ubisoft game I played was Rainbow back when I was interested in it, and it's by the Canadian Ubisoft, the guys in Quebec. So it's really not.
Wait, Canadian Ubisoft made Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes, the Montreal studio.
How? No wonder it's so fucking inclusive. Oh fuck! They got
The
hijacked.
Canadian
Oh my
operators
god.
are
Yeah.
both French Canadian.
No,
Look at
fuck
them.
that. No, that's why they put a fat bitch in there and made it
Ah, of course.
inclusive and all that nonsense. It's because they got raped by the Canada fucking storm of inclusiveness. Oh my god! Never everything fucking makes sense. Now I'm more depressed. Thank you, Yasha.
Yo,
uh, like no, here's my problem with Ubisoft and Bethesda. To me, like if you fucking whenever you mention these two companies, like I feel like they're one of the same. They're like cut from the same cloth. Um, they just kind of like if they want to make a game, they're like to just grab just a bunch of shit and just like throw it here, reshuffle it, and they're like, oh, that's a new game. Like what's the most recent Ubisoft game? Assassin's Creed Valhalla, right? And immediately the second I hear this, I'm like, ugh, Viking theme. And you know me, I love my Viking themes, right? But if your Viking theme has Valhalla, Yggdrasil, Odin, and Thor, if that's the four things you focus on, then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There's so much more. There's so much more fun to be had in this fucking thing. But no, call it Valhalla or Ragnarok, and just keywords that make like the casual market again diluting content. We always circle back to this fucking topic, right? And it's just words that people can associate with something that they think is cool or society thinks is cool, and they're like, oh, okay, we can make money off that. It's fucking disgusting. I despise it. And the like Assassin's Creed games should stop. Honestly, make a new fucking franchise. You lost the plot. Literally lost the plot. It should have been It was supposed to be Templars versus whatever the fuck the others were, and it turned into. I don't even know what it's turned to at this point. There is no plot progression. There's no nothing. It's just let's explore memories of this guy from this period. Like, why even use the exploring memories as a fucking excuse for gameplay at this point if you're not going to continue with it? There's no point. When are we going to have Assassin's Creed plot resolution in the future? Templars versus like whatever the other guys are in the modern world. Let's apply what you've learned as an assassin from your ancestors to the test. When is that going to be a thing? It turned to aliens in Atlantis. uh, um, what does Doom count? Like, is what company makes fucking Doom? I'm not sure. I have no idea. I've never been interested in Doom. Funny enough, like it's because it's an FPS, just shooty, killy, which has never been my thing. Has it been third person? Maybe, but first person is kind of for me. I avoid first person as much as possible in my games. It has to be like it has to be a game I really enjoy very much and is very intrinsic and powerful in order for me to actually consider going. Or to consider playing it, and Doom doesn't look that appealing to me, at least. It's studios. Uh, um, it's I don't know, because here's the thing. When it comes to what is it called, video game companies, I think Bethesda's making Skyrim like Elder Scrolls 6, right?
I think they mentioned that some point.
And if they're making fucking Elder Scrolls 6, I can't wait for it to fucking flop, because I don't think anybody in the universe thinks that that will be good. That the new one will be good. It's like people took the reverse fucking process. I think they took too long between Elder Scrolls 5 and Elder Scrolls 6. They didn't catch up on the hype. They should have made it like 3 years after, instead of replaying or remaking Skyrim for like a fucking phone for the 30th time. At this point, my video camera can run fucking Skyrim. My vape can fucking run fucking Skyrim.
Doesn't seem like the Elder Scrolls 6 will be coming anytime soon. Seems like it's years away.
They think that you think they'll pull it off to like make it multiplayer or something dumb like that, just to add the.
No, they're already over investing in Elder Scrolls Online. They keep making updates for it.
Dude, that game was so fucking trash. Have you played it?
No, I haven't.
So I remember like the first time Elder Scrolls. Here's the thing: when I bought my PS3, like 3 or 4 years into the development cycle of the PS3, I got Skyrim. Right, I still remember it felt overwhelming. Like I never thought video games can reach this level of of detail in the world and all that. I just got immersed in the fucking game and loved it. And then I saw an announcement for Elder Scrolls Online, right? Got so fucking hyped for it. Got so fucking excited, and then I saw the gameplay, and it was so. It's the most. It's like they took everything that was right about Skyrim and they diluted it into the worst form of gaming possible and called that an MMO. So fucking. They even split like the races into factions.
Everybody is the chosen one. Everybody is the Dragonborn.
Imagine arbitrarily dividing the fucking races that everybody likes into teams and having the teams go against each other. And I'm like, why? Why can't we have factions about something that's actually like interesting instead of my fucking race? Dark elves and Khajiit are together. Why? Why are they together? Why did they choose to be? Where is the consistency and the realism? And when I say realism, I don't mean like, oh, it's fantasy, shut the heck up. No, there has to be a degree of realism to anything you do. And what I mean by realism is basically quality, like actual legitimate storytelling tools to tell a decent story. That's missing in Elder Scrolls Online. There is no value to be had. And that's actually my argument why I think Warhammer is fucking trash. It's for the same thing. Like video game lore is disgusting because they do everything in their power to make it fucking awful and just video gamey, if you will. It's not very good, and I love how you guys are having your own discussion in like the comment section while I'm trashing on Elder Scrolls Online. That's something that's desirable. I'm happy you guys are having fun trashing on shit too. It's we're living to the spirit of the Salt Grinder. Now let's stop with video games for a bit.
Yeah.
There's a topic that you've discussed with me that I think is worth talking about. I want to talk about welfare. So how about you lead?
Right. Let's describe a bit of a scenario over here in the Canadian, the Great White North.
Right.
COVID hit. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's locking down. Canada is a welfare country. It has a welfare system because immigrants tend to need a push in the beginning of their immigration because finding jobs, securing your household and all of that takes a ton of money and a ton of time. So that is already established and it works fine for the most part. But now that people can't go to work, everybody's looking to our main boy Justin Trudeau to fix this. What do we do? So he announces this the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit, the CERB or CERB, and essentially it is $2,000 every 4 weeks for people who have lost their jobs or can't find a job due to the COVID epidemic or pandemic, right?
Right.
So that goes into effect. Now, people use that as you'd expect, but you get people who can't use it because this is very targeted towards a specific audience, right?
Right.
So people start complaining. Why don't you just make it universal? Give access to everybody. Everyone gets $2,000, all Canadians and permanent residents. But he wouldn't do it. With enough pressure, he made the Canadian Emergency Student Benefit, because students usually spend the summer working to pay their tuition for next year, right? And they couldn't do that. So now you have these two welfare systems to cope during this crisis, right? The problem is now things are opening up and we want to get the market going. Some provinces even are doing pretty well in regards to counts of cases and how much it's spread. So the Canadian Revenue Agency is like telling the employers to get their employees back. Then they make I forgot what it's called, but they announce, they ask the employers essentially. They ask the employers, okay, we see that there are many employees that do not want to come back to work. Why is that the case? And I forgot the exact number in the statistic, but it's somewhere above 70%, I would say, was that people do not want to go back to work because working is effort to get paid less than what the CRB is giving them.
Right.
The welfare is doing. So people are becoming more dependent on this welfare. A few days later, I'm looking at the news. CRB was extended by 2 more months.
So essentially, Trudeau provided a relief fund that provided more than their jobs could give. And now that they want to revert the state, everybody's like, wait, I like having money without putting effort. So how about you give me more of that shit?
And
Is
it's
that
exactly
essentially what
that.
it is? Yeah.
Yeah. I see welfare as this really great tool to help people escape the poverty line, for example. Like, Canada is one of the biggest immigration countries in the world. People who come here, the places they came for, they could never imagine having this opportunity or entering the middle class. Like, I know my parents would have never made it in Kuwait.
Right.
So this is a great investment. The government is investing in the people to turn them into workforce, to turn them into economy for this long term, and create a population. It makes sense for a country like this. It's great. My problem is when people start abusing welfare. I know some people in my shitty ass communities that work under the radar. They don't declare that they're working. Thus, they don't pay taxes. Their employers don't pay on them. Like, don't add them to their calculations when paying taxes. And they get the welfare added on. People like this, I don't think deserve to even be in this country. This is a big statement. But this is an abuse of opportunity that is meant to improve both your lives and the nation as a whole. This is one problem. You also get the other problem of people that are getting too lax and too dependent on welfare, like what we are seeing right now. There are other countries who had a much better response towards the COVID welfare systems. You can mention the British ones I've heard.
In essence, the way I can look at this is it's the job of the government to help you help yourself, right? Out of things like these, instead of just help you. And there's a difference between giving people free shit and giving people the ability to earn stuff and help, like, push them together. And that's where welfare gets weak. That's why I prefer welfare in the form of services instead of the form of monetary power, right? So I'll give you healthcare, I'll give you education, public schools, I'll give you access to train stations and maybe internet. Yeah, so you can, give you access to the tools that improve your quality of life, cost free. But I won't give you money. You have to go earn that yourself, right? I like that way more than the idea of here's just free money for doing nothing, because we need to improve your quality of life. I think that's the main mistake of welfare. That's where I had a problem with Andrew Yang's policies when he was like, free $1,000 for every American, right? Because, will people just take that $1,000 and just stay with it and that's it, right? They just take that money and they do nothing, and it's like, okay, just use it wisely, and fuck it, do nothing, play video games, just sink your head on the fucking, just do nothing with it, and that's a big problem, as far as I'm concerned. But at least when Andrew Yang gave the $1,000, it was without the condition that, okay, you get the 1,000 if you're not working. That's a big no in my opinion, because if it was just, I give you this amount, and if you want more, if you want better for yourself, grab yourself, work, and I won't give you enough to sustain yourself, so you need to at least do some minimum of work. I'll just give you a safety net that if things aren't going well, at least you have this backup from the government. That is acceptable. That's what makes that's why I think Andrew Yang's policy is better than what regular welfare is. Welfare in the form of
More
money is,
calculated.
yeah, it's way more calculated, and it's designed to stimulate economy, which makes sense because Andrew Yang's his policies were particularly about stimulating the economy. So the question here comes. Is how do you, as a culture, promote ambition, industry, and working hard to get what you want, and have that embedded into your policies instead of just giving people free shit. And guess what? Most of this nonsense, right? Most of this nonsense happens because most people want free fucking shit, and they're gonna fight you to get that free shit, no matter what. That's I think where like most of this ends up. I think I deserve more for doing nothing, and so I'm gonna bug you until you give it to me.
I know
That's
that's
the
another thing that's happening in Canada, a form of that, where people are mad at Trudeau because he's doesn't want to give universal welfare. Instead, he's investing a lot more money on bailing out the stores, the markets, the big chains, because he wants them to stay around. He recognizes that that's more important to the economy. I don't know if it's the time to do it.
Actually, that's the thing. When you give people something, like like welfare, and you want to reverse that, nobody's going to be happy about it, because people want more for less, right? And I think that's a big problem with welfare in general. Is because right now that Justin put it, people are like, give us more, we deserve more, because they're not thinking, oh, this will damage Canada. They're thinking, oh, it's going to benefit me. And
That's what I keep thinking. This is gonna damage Canada. I care more about the country as a whole than getting money in my pockets necessarily.
again, it's the Venezuela argument, right? If you, it's like, why should I care about my country? Because you don't want to end up becoming literally the most dangerous place to live on fucking earth. which is Venezuela right now. They put so much welfare and just poured so much money. The second the economy wasn't doing well and things twisted, they don't have enough talent to revitalize it. They don't have enough willpower from the people for them to actually work hard in order to do anything, and you end up creating a non-sustainable model where people just end up suffering, right? It's wrong. That's why I like how the British are doing it. Everybody's trashing, what do you call it? The Tory party.
The
But
Tories. Yeah.
I like what the Tories are doing over whatever the fuck Justin Trudeau is doing right now with this party, right? Because at least they're trying to make people work to earn their buck. And that's something that's not very desirable for somebody from the working class.
You describe what their approach is. You didn't mention it.
So their approach goes like this, and you guys can look it up. TLDR is a brilliant channel that covered this quite well in their most recent video. The general idea is basically we're gonna tell businesses that for every employee they bring back into the fold and pay them salaries and all that after during this COVID crisis, they're going to be provided £1,000 per employee by the government as a stimulus package, as a relief package for the companies themselves, meaning that the companies will be incentivized to hire as much as possible to get that huge economic boost, and they take that, okay, and use that money to just revitalize their business and through extension their employees. I saw that and I'm like, what a fucking way to encourage fucking aggressive rehiring. Now that's something I'm interested in. That's something
that's thinking long term.
Very much so.
That's a country that wants to quickly get back on their feet after the economic suffering this pandemic caused.
It's definitely something I don't know whether like the economy of the UK can sustain, probably like especially post Brexit, that level of relief fund. But if it can, I think you've saved the US from a depression. Sorry, the UK from the whatever is going to go on in Canada. I'm really curious to see how Canada and how the United Kingdom progress forward, who between them is going to thrive quicker after COVID, because if the UK thing works, and I think it will, it sounds really good in theory. We'll be finding UK businesses very, very happy with themselves, and post Brexit, a strong UK economically, when everybody else was focused on relief by welfare, I think it's very relevant, and will give us something to do. I really like how they do it, how they're doing it.
But what's happening in Kuwait right
now? Nothing. It's just they never stopped paying people for their jobs, even though they're home, and then they're slowly reintroducing work into phases. I think it's too slow. Personally, I think we should be getting back more. But hey, I'm back in my work. They
like a few days.
They rotated. Yeah, no, they rotated me out. But 3 days ago, I got texted by my head engineer, and she told me this school needs inspection, so you don't have to show up to work, right? But I want you to go and check on. And I'm like, right? So I'm still required to do my job. It's just that I don't have to sign in. As long as I'm doing my work, I should be fine. I'm not required to be in office, and eventually this will go back to normal. It's being extended because more cases are going. But that's not. Let's. I don't want to cover how the government is, in my opinion, dumbly reintroducing the program to return back to normal life. But um, at least the way they're doing it is like we'll continue as we were before. We won't take anybody's livelihood away, and we're going to punish the companies that do take livelihoods away, and we'll make it through this after we're done. This will be slower, but we can make it. We'll make it through this. We certainly have the oil money for it.
A lot of money is going to shit right now.
Yeah, for now. But then once the demand for oil increases and now companies are more up, the price will slowly rise up. And as long I don't think we're gonna Venezuela this. Maybe things will be a bit slower, but I don't think we're gonna fucking Venezuela this. We have too many investments all over the place, countries all over the world. That I think we're gonna make it through this. With that said, though, I do have to wrap up. I'm getting actually dizzy, so I'm gonna call it quits here. Any closing remarks? No.
No, it's great that we get to do another one of these classic Soul Grinder sessions. Do look forward for the gaming streams next week.
Yeah, look, next week, Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
Yep, we're gonna do Sea of Thieves, and we'll look forward to see you guys there. Remember, check our Discord. It's right in the description. You can just click it and join in. We have conversations like these. I put them in videos and memes, and we're very active in VC as well. So conversations like this are actually very commonplace in the Soul Grinder itself.
We hold interest events for games like Gwent, Pokemon, the board games, diplomacy, all of that. Join in. Our Minecraft servers also.
Yeah, Minecraft server. It's growing quite busy. I'm working quite hard on it. As people who jumped in it can tell, I've been like soloing so many projects. But that's besides the point. That's looking forward to see you guys there. And yeah, thank you all guys for tuning in. Consistent viewership throughout. And see you guys on the next one.
Goodbye.